you didn't end up here by mistake. And deep down, you already know that somehow, in the middle of your exhaustion, this prayer found its way to you. And not just any prayer, this one, the one that doesn't begin with religious formality or lofty language, the version of you that's been holding on by a thread, the one who feels forgotten though surrounded, the one who is always the strong one, the encourager, the fixer, but right now doesn't have it in them. It's a doorway, a holy pause, a divine invitation to stop holding everything together. You're striving for His stillness, not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, but simply because you're His. That alone qualifies you for rest. You've been pushing so hard, carrying unseen battles, smiling in pictures that don't tell the truth, being the one others lean on when, secretly, your knees are shaking. But God is not asking for the perfect version of you. He's asking for the real one, for the tired soul beneath the to-do list, for the worn-out warrior hidden beneath the make-it-happen mindset. Right now, you are not required to be strong. You are allowed to be tired. God will still be God, and in your fatigue, He has sent this prayer as both a reminder and a rescue. You do not have to earn His attention. You already have it. Every second of today, when no one clapped for your effort, every moment your heart whispered what your mouth pretended not to feel, He was there, not watching from a distance, present, attentive, compassionate, that version of you that lies in bed trying to breathe past the anxiety. That's who this prayer is for. And yes, God sent it. He placed this moment in your path on purpose. You don't have to plan for tomorrow before you go to sleep. You don't have to earn the right to rest. It's your inheritance. You were never made to carry it all, and you don't have to anymore. This is the moment where your weariness finds purpose, where your tiredness doesn't define you, but it draws you near to the one who represents you. You are not weak because you're tired. You are weary because you've been pushing yourself too hard, and now it's safe to stop. It's safe to breathe. It's safe to be held. This prayer was sent for you because God knew tonight, more than ever, you'd need it. Right now, your only job is to be still, to let this prayer speak over you what you've been too tired to say. Let heaven meet you in your hush. Let the Spirit rest over your room like a warm blanket. Let your heart come undungeantly, quietly, finally, and let God hold it. He already knows. He has already seen, and yet He's not going anywhere. This fatigue doesn't scare Him. It draws Him in closer, because He knew your spirit needed a reminder not of how to be strong, but of how deeply you're seen. The one that starts with truth, real, raw, heart-heavy truth. God knows you're tired tonight, not just physically, too broken, too wordless, but can I tell you something holy? God listens closest to the weary, the groans, the sighs, the pauses between thoughts. Here's all of it. When you say nothing and lie in quiet surrender, He leans closer, because He doesn't need your strength to show up. He needs your surrender. And maybe tonight, surrender doesn't look like a sermon. Maybe it's softer. Perhaps it's just you breathing and saying to yourself, God, I need you. Not because everything is falling apart, not even because you know exactly what you're asking for, but because you trust He knows what to do with what you can't even put into words. Not just because it's the end of a long day. Your soul is weary. Your mind has been running in circles. Your heart has been holding too much, too long. And though you may not even have the energy to explain it aloud, you don't have to. He already knows. You see, long before your fingers tapped this screen. Long before you whispered, "I can't keep doing this." Long before the tears that never fully fell found their place in your chest, God saw it all. He saw the days you kept smiling, even though everything inside was begging for rest. He saw the nights you stared up at the ceiling with questions you didn't dare say out loud. He watched you push through conversations, tasks, and expectations while your spirit quietly crumbled. And tonight, He isn't asking you to perform. He's just asking you to come close. Not with answers, not with energy, just with honesty. That's why this prayer is here, not to entertain, not to inspire, but to reach, to find the version of you no one sees. You may feel like your prayers have been too small. This space right here, right now, is not just the end of another tiring day. And right now, He wants to trade with you your burden for His peace. So pause, not just with your body, pause with your soul. Let this moment be the start of something sacred. You don't have to fix everything tonight. Tonight, while the world sleeps and expectations rest, your soul can finally exhale. The purpose of this prayer isn't to motivate you into pushing harder. It's not here to give you a pep talk or add more spiritual duties. The goal is rest, real, sacred, soul-deep rest, God's kind, the kind that doesn't require conditions, the type that meets you exactly where you are in your weariness, your doubts, your unanswered prayers, and even in the haze of wondering if He still hears. This prayer was sent not to challenge your effort, but to hold your heart, to understand that sleep can be a form of worship, that surrender can be strength. We live in a world that glorifies non-stop motion, constant output, and spiritual performance that never pauses to exhale. And this prayer pulls you outside of all that. It creates a space where you can say, "I'm not okay right now," and it's holy ground. But tonight is not about outer results. It's about inner return. You long to be held without needing to prove anything, to be comforted without asking with perfect words, to be understood when even you can't explain what's wrong. This is the heart behind this prayer, that in this sacred, simple moment, you can feel the letting go, the soft healing that rises when you don't have to strive anymore. When faith no longer feels like an effort you're failing, but a flow you're following. God wants your company, that's all. He doesn't need your success or your eloquency, simply wants you to be close. Only open arms, only presence, only the whisper of a God who saw your fatigue before you did and made sure you land here right here in this prayer so that He could gently hold what has been too heavy for you to carry another moment. That's the goal, and it's already begun. And the miracle in that kind of intimacy is this: it always brings peace. Maybe not immediately, maybe not loudly, but peace comes like quiet waves washing over a restless shore. What if tonight wasn't a spiritual setback, but a sacred return, a homecoming? What if God, in His tenderness, brought you here not so you'd push through, but so you'd lay it all down and finally say, "Help me"? And it begins with one truth we so often forget in the chaos. God knows you retired. He's walking into the room, into your silence, into your sighs. Imagine that truth resting softly in your chest right now. Let it touch the places within you that have been tight, defensive, and tired of holding everything together. Some burdens were never yours to keep. Some wars you took on that were never assigned to you. And God, in all His kindness, is not angry at you for trying. He's just gently calling you to rest, to remember who you belong to. The goal is to feel held again, not to earn your place in His presence, but to sit back into it, as if you were never meant to leave. This is the goal, to bring you back from the noise of everything outside and anchor you in the knowing that God never forgot you, not for 1 second. And just like breath returns to a drowning body, this prayer is His way of reviving your inner world, not by giving you answers, but by giving you access to Him, to comfort, to peace. There's no striving here, no performance. God is not calling you tonight to prove your faith or to push past your limits. Quite the opposite. He's whispering, stop, breathe. You were not made to carry it all. You were not created to wear strength like a mask, while your soul quietly begs for relief. But some prayers are softer, more sacred. They're whispered through fatigue, through a soul that barely has words. And yet, they matter just as much, sometimes more. Because those are the prayers where God's nearness is felt most clearly. This prayer is not here to hype your hope. It's here to help your heart back into God's arms. You weren't always meant to be the strong one. And this prayer isn't demanding more of you, it's offering you permission. Permission to slow down, permission to release, permission to be the version of you that you rarely let anyone else see. The goal is surrender, not waving a white flag in defeat, but opening your hands in trust, saying in the softest way possible, Lord, I've reached the edge of my capacity, take it from here. And that is where peace enters, not when things get easier, but when you invite God into the weight they place on your soul. The beauty of this kind of surrender is that it doesn't change how tired you are, but it changes how you carry your tiredness. You no longer walk with it alone, and that is everything. It's easy to believe that prayers are meant to be loud, declared with force, shaped with certainty, built like bold declarations of war. The goal is to recognize that rest itself is a spiritual act, and He will, because He is not watching coldly from a distance. There will be no harsh instructions in this space, only a whisper. It's okay to rest. You might have prayed before. You might have whispered the same things night after night with no visible change. You long for rest, not just of body, but of identity. So be here now, gently, fully. Let this be the quiet turning of your heart back home. There is no judgment in this space, and you're there now, right on the edge of surrender. And God is not waiting on the other side. He has stepped into it with you. He knew the weight of your responsibilities would sit heavy on your chest, and so He sent this prayer, not as a lecture, not as a demand, but as a quiet gesture of love, something between Him and your soul. Let God do what He does best, not fix everything at once, but gently place His peace in places even you forgot were hurting. He restores slowly sometimes, like breath returning to the lungs, like light crawling back into a room that thought it would never see morning again. Something whispered in the dark, saying, I see you, nothing fancy, nothing dramatic. Your breath will remember how to hope again, not because this prayer solved all your problems, but because this moment gave your soul something it's been thirsting for, connection. You're not just ending a day, you're receiving grace and God's arms. Yes, you did. It's okay to stop performing strength when you want to collapse. You can collapse here. And instead of falling apart, you'll fall into arms that carry you completely. God's love is not conditional on your energy. It does not lessen when you're emotionally dry. In fact, it rushes in closer. Grace runs fastest toward the worn out, not away from them. God isn't just aware of your tiredness. He honors it. He blesses it because it brought you here to Him. And that's more victory than you think. A fleeting sense of peace that says, you can lay this down now. The space you often try to hide is the very place where God is pouring the most tenderness. What a God who sees your smallest sighs and treats them like sacred prayers, who hears your deepest silence and calls it enough. Not clarity from having it all figured out, but peace from knowing who's with you in the fog. Not answers written in the sky, but a warmth deep in your chest that says you are not alone. Let the presence of God rest on your heart like gentle rain that you do and have to run from. There is no need to posture, no need to pretend. God will meet the real you, the unfiltered, unprocessed, unpacked you because He already has. And you've done that. Just an invitation, just arms open wide, just a love so vast that even your exhaustion feels seen, held, holy. But because you were never meant to carry this weight alone. Tonight, God sent this prayer not to add to your burden, but to gently remove it. To show you that He's not calling you to be stronger. He's calling you to be still. Can you feel it now? God knew you'd be tired tonight. He knew your mind would be racing, chasing everything left undone. Breathe. Feel that gentle release in your shoulders for the first time today. And now that you're here, in this moment, don't rush past it. Let it sit like holy silence on your soul. You're safe here. It's okay to stop solving. It's okay to stop replaying that conversation. Maybe tonight you needed to be reminded that your tiredness is not a spiritual failure. It's proof that you've been showing up when it hurts, giving when it costs, standing even when your knees were shaking. This is not a moment of defeats, the revelation of your need. And that need is not shameful, it's sacred. So tonight, in the stillness that feels almost too holy to describe, let this be your prayer. I am tired, Lord, and I need you. This is the final freedom. Not strength by force, but surrender to love. Your shoulders will feel lighter. Your pace will feel steadier. So rest. Before you close your eyes tonight, before rest settles fully into your room, take a breath, not out of habit, but as a holy pause. Let the words you've just heard stay with you, not as a momentary comfort, but as a reminder that God came close tonight. Not because you searched hard, but because He searched for you. And if this prayer found you in the middle of your tiredness, it wasn't by chance, it was by love. There are no perfect prayers, no right words, just willingness, just presence, just whispers to a God who is always listening. You are exactly where grace knew you would be. No need to whisper alone anymore. God already heard you. He sent this for you. And if tonight these words wrapped around your heart like a blanket, if you felt even a flicker of peace or the slightest tear fall without warning, then I invite you to respond, not for me, not for others to see, but for your healing, not with an explanation, just with love. Just because, like you, they're carrying more than what they show. This simple message, this gentle prayer, could become their reminder too that God knows, that God sees, that God still shows up. In the comments below, type something simple, something sacred. Say, yes, Lord, or I'm so tired, but I'm here. Or even, thank you for finding me. Writing it may not seem like much, but it's a declaration. And declarations, no matter how soft, carry power in the spirit. Heaven notices. Maybe someone scrolling through is waiting for that one comment, that one confirmation that another heart is also tired, also open, also being held again and again. This space isn't just content. It's communion, a sacred meeting place between your weariness and God's welcome. Subscribe, not just for updates, but so that you never have to look too far for peace. So that each night, when the world demands less, but your soul feels more, you can come back and be reminded you are seen, you are safe, and you are still held. Your comment could become their invitation. Your honesty could become their encouragement. And if your heart is wondering where to come when the days are heavy and the nights feel long, know this: you can go here. If someone came to your mind while this prayer unfolded, send it to them. Tonight, sleep knowing you're not behind, you're not forgotten, you're not weak. Rest easy now, you're held.